Welcome everyone to In Depth with Jodie Lobana. Today we have Dr. Das. He's president of Kabir Association of Canada, and he's here in Toronto. And he was willing to give us time to cover a few very important topics in our day-to-day lives. And one of the key topics that people contemplate on is meditation. Like we've heard, Dr. Das, that meditation is important and we should be doing, but there are many different modalities of meditation. So we were hoping that today you can tell us what Saint Kabir asked us to do. What is his process of meditation that if we follow, we can go towards enlightenment?
Yes, certainly. Meditation, as you mentioned, is important. Why is it important? Because that is the way to connect with God.
Sure.
We cannot connect with God using our physical senses or looking for God outside. So Kabir Sahib said, Moko kaha dhoodhe bande, mai to tere paas mein. I'm already with you.
Sure.
You don't have to search for me
Sure.
anywhere. But how do we know that God is with us? We don't see God anywhere.
Yeah.
How do we know? So we can only know by going within. So Kabir Sahib said to turn your vision inward. And naina jo ulate Kabira sai sanmukh kare.
Sure.
If you turn your eyes, your physical eyes, from looking outside, turn them inward, not physical eyes, but your spiritual eyes.
Sure.
Look inward. And it's inside of you that God dwells.
Sure.
God is the spirit. God is the consciousness. God is the intelligence.
Sure.
God is the mind. God is everything that you are.
Yes.
But you cannot find this outside. So as long as you're searching outside, Kabir Sahib said, you will not find God.
So what is the process of meditation? And do you sit down? How do you sit down? Can you sit down on a chair? Can you do a walking meditation like some Zen Buddhism people do? What is the process of going inside?
First of all, we have to realize that the senses keep interacting with outside only.
Sure.
And therefore the senses are a hindrance. So you shut off the senses. You may close your eyes. It's probably better to close your eyes.
Sure.
You can't close your ears very well, though some yoga practitioners will close their ears like that and the
Sure.
eyes like that.
Sure.
But Kabir Sahib said, Aankh na mundu, kana na rundu, kaya kashna dhar. I have to close my eyes or close my ears.
Sure.
I will, with looking, with my natural eyes, see God everywhere.
Sure.
But that does not mean you're experiencing God.
Sure.
Kabir Sahib said, Man ko mar gagan sarjai man sarovar pait nahi. Subdue the mind. And he used the metaphor as the yogi sits on the mat. You sit on the mind and subdue the mind and dive into the Mansarovar lake. That's the lake of serenity. That's within you. When you quieten all the senses, only then can you get in touch with your real self in meditation.
So how do you subdue the mind then?
Well, we have to understand how the mind functions. The mind is said to be the sixth sense organ. And whatever we see and hear and taste, etc., they go to the mind. And the mind processes them, categorizes them, recognizes them, and what deals with them in whatever way necessary.
Sure.
So first thing you do is stop your senses from interacting. In the yoga terminology, it's called pratyahara, and in his book, De Brahm Nirupan, all that is mentioned. That you do not see things, you do not listen to things, you do not taste. In other words, control all your senses. When they're controlled, the mind does not function, because the mind needs sensory input and it needs thoughts. And when the thoughts are stilled and the sense organs are stilled, there are no thoughts, Kabir Sahib said that is the time when you will go to meditation.
So just to clarify, so you're saying go away from other people, maybe sit in a quieter room so that you are away from the noise. You can close your eyes. So you're really not receiving much new input from your senses. And then what? I'm still kind of not clear as to how you subdue your mind.
Well, as I mentioned, if there are no thoughts, where is the mind? Can you imagine a state when you have no thoughts at all and your mind is blank? Is the mind functioning? So what is the mind? Ramana Maharshi of South India said, give up all your thoughts and then ask yourself, where is the mind? You will not be able to ask a question because you have no thoughts.
And there will be no mind.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
And so Kabir Sahib said, when there's no mind, then you will approach God.
So for viewers' purposes, like in my personal case, since I have done a lot of spiritual work, I get that state of no thought, no mind. But how does somebody get to that point? I know some may say that it's through grace, but if it's through work or through sadhana, how do you get to that place of no thought? What did Kabirji said as to how do you get to the no thought state?
This requires practice. And first of all, we cannot sort of verbally explain what is that no thought state, because to try to explain that requires thinking. So in other words, you abolish thought. You start with your breath, concentrate on the breath, inhale, exhale, and no other thought except to be aware of your breath.
Sure.
And with that awareness of the breath, you will find that the concentration on the breath gives way to a state of silence where there's no thinking about the breath anymore.
Sure.
And it's that state of silence that Kabir Sahib said you will reach that state of meditation.
So concentrate on the breath as it's going in and out.
Yeah.
He did say, from my readings of Kabirji's teaching, he did mention Trikuti and the focus on Trikuti. So can you explain that a bit?
Yes. And the Trikuti means meeting point of three. In the yoga system is the Ida, the left, Pingala right,
Sure.
and Sushumna, the central channel. They meet at the Trikuti here.
Sure.
And Kabir Sahib said, when you reach that point, he said, Trikuti mekar asnan. Go and dive and bathe in the Trikuti.
Sure.
That means the nerve current or left nostril, which refers to the moon, and the right sun, right nerve current, they meet at a point where it goes into Sushumna.
Sure.
Sushumna is a state of balance.
Yes.
Right and left nostrils, nerve currents, moon and sun, they're all in such a balance that there's a stillness, an absolute stillness.
Yes.
And in that stillness, Kabir Sahib said you will have the nectar. Ras gagan gufa mein achar chare. One of his bhajan. Ras gagan gufa mein achar chare. What is the gufa? It's the cave of the void when you go into stillness. And in that state of stillness, in that void, the nectar will be flowing and you will enjoy bliss.
Sure. So in essence, I guess you've given two techniques so far based on what I hear. One is to focus on the breath. Just focus on incoming breath, outgoing breath. So more a person does that, more they can be away from other thoughts. Because as soon as we focus on something, there are no thoughts. So especially the breath. And then secondly, if we focus on the Trikuti, which is our third eye, that's another way of going towards the void.
Yes. When you are at the point of Trikuti, that is when you begin to experience, if you are deep enough in that silence, the light and sound. As the Shabd is called the Anahat Shabd.
Sure.
The, let's say, the thunder of silence or the divine music
Yes.
that saints talk about. That is when you see the divine light and divine sound. And they are an indication that you are connecting with the divine. Because light and sound are two of the basic energies of God. And that is like a stepping stone to get to that ultimate that Kabir describes in the Brahma-nirupan.
And which is void. Void.
It's a state of void,
Void.
practically,
Void.
yeah. Because what is there?
Yeah.
You're not thinking,
Yeah.
you're not planning anything or doing anything.
Yeah.
You are just in yourself. You just be.
Yes.
And you begin to realize your own being.
Yes. And I find that when we focus on the Trikuti, which is the third eye, that's the only point where when you focus on it, it actually pulls you in. Any other point of your body, if you focus, it doesn't pull you in. It's just your focus on that point of your body. But when you focus on Trikuti, it actually pulls you in. So I would ask audience members to actually try that. Try focusing on the third eye and see what you experience. And that is definitely one of the ways to bring that the central meeting point of Ida
And
Pingla and go towards the Sushma channel. And more we stay there, more we can get to that focused, non-thought state and get to that perfect meditation. So thank you, Dr. Das, for sharing your thoughts. And did you want to say something else about meditation before we leave?
No, I think that pretty well covers it. I think people need to practice. And it's not something that you have to do because you want to set a goal. I want to be peaceful. I want to get rid of stress. You don't set a goal in meditation.
Sure.
Meditation should be as natural as your breathing or wanting food or wanting sleep. Let it be a part of your being.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Das. Thank you for sharing with us Saint Kabir's teaching. And if you want to know more about Dr. Das' teachings, you can refer to his book, The Brahma-nirupan of Kabir, A Journey to Enlightenment, The Ultimate Reality. And we will come back with another session with Dr. Das on the topic, I wouldn't say the favorite topic, but the topic of death. And we will come back with that topic very soon, so tune back in. Thank you for your attention.